The untold story of Lucifer's fall. Lucifer, his name is synonymous with rebellion, pride, and the ultimate fall from grace. But beyond the popular understanding, what do we really know about this enigmatic figure? Who was he before his fall? What led to his catastrophic rebellion? And why does his story hold such profound significance in understanding the battle between good and evil? In today's video, we're uncovering the untold story of Lucifer's fall. This isn't just a tale of defiance. It's a cautionary narrative about pride, ambition, and the consequences of turning away from divine truth. Prepare to dive deep into biblical passages, historical interpretations, and theological insights that paint a fuller picture of Lucifer's story. Stick with us until the end, because this journey will challenge how you think about not only Lucifer, but also humanity's own struggles with pride and purpose. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Before the fall, Lucifer wasn't the dark, fearsome figure we associate with evil. In fact, he was the opposite, a being of extraordinary beauty, power, and authority. The Bible gives us glimpses into his origins, describing him as one of God's most magnificent creations. Ezekiel 28, verse 12 to 15 provides one of the most vivid descriptions. You were the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone adorned you. You were anointed as a guardian cherub, for so I ordained you. You were blameless in your ways from the day you were created till wickedness was found in you. Lucifer's name itself means light-bearer or morning star. He was not just a servant, but a leader among the heavenly hosts, a guardian cherub who stood in the very presence of God. Imagine the honor and glory of that role, being a reflection of divine brilliance, entrusted with immense responsibility. But here's where the story begins to darken. Ezekiel 28:17 tells us, Your heart became proud on account of your beauty, and you corrupted your wisdom because of your splendor. Lucifer's magnificence became his downfall. Rather than directing his beauty and power toward glorifying God, he began to glorify himself. Isaiah 14, verse 12 to 14 gives us another perspective, often interpreted as a poetic account of Lucifer's rebellion. How you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn. You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations. You said in your heart, I will ascend to the heavens, I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the Mount of Assembly, on the utmost heights of Mount Zaphon. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. These words reveal the core of Lucifer's sin, pride. He wasn't content to be a reflection of God's glory. He wanted to be the source of it. He wanted to ascend, to take the throne, to be worshipped as God himself. It's a tragic irony. Lucifer's beauty and power were gifts from God, yet he used those very gifts to rebel against his Creator. In many ways, Lucifer's fall mirrors humanity's own struggles. How often do we take the talents, blessings, and opportunities we've been given and turn them into sources of pride or self-glorification? Lucifer's story is not just about a celestial being's rebellion. It's a cautionary tale for us all. The rebellion wasn't a solitary act. Revelation 12:7-9 gives us a glimpse into the cosmic battle that followed. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. The great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil, or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him. Lucifer, now referred to as Satan, managed to deceive a third of the angels, leading them into rebellion against God. This was no small act of defiance. It was an outright war in heaven. Imagine the chaos, the heartbreak, as once loyal beings turned against their Creator, choosing allegiance to Lucifer over the God who made them. And yet, the rebellion failed. Satan and his followers were cast out of heaven, hurled down to earth. But here's the twist. Their defeat in heaven didn't end their influence. Instead, it marked the beginning of their campaign to corrupt and destroy humanity. Lucifer's fall didn't just change his own destiny, it altered the course of human history. Genesis 3 reveals how Satan, in the form of a serpent, tempted Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. His strategy? To plant the same seeds of doubt and pride that led to his own downfall. He whispered to Eve, "You will not surely die." For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Doesn't that sound familiar? The promise of becoming like God was the very temptation that led to Lucifer's rebellion. And now, he was using it to lure humanity into the same trap. When Adam and Eve succumbed, the consequences were catastrophic. Sin entered the world, bringing separation from God, suffering, and death. Lucifer's rebellion didn't just affect the heavenly realm, it became the root of all human brokenness. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. While Lucifer's fall brought devastation, it also set the stage for God's ultimate plan of redemption. From the very beginning, God promised that the serpent's deception would not have the final word. Genesis 3:15 foreshadows the victory to come. "I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." This verse points to Jesus Christ, the one who would defeat Satan and restore what was lost. Through his life, death, and resurrection, Jesus crushed the power of sin and death, offering humanity a path back to God. Satan's story, though tragic, is not the end of the narrative. It's a reminder that God's power and grace are greater than any rebellion, any sin, any fall. So why does Lucifer's story matter to us today? For one, it reveals the dangers of pride and self-exaltation. Lucifer's fall began with a single thought: I will. It's a stark warning about the consequences of placing ourselves above God, of seeking glory for ourselves rather than reflecting His. It also reminds us of the reality of spiritual warfare. Ephesians 6:12 tells us, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." Lucifer's rebellion may have been defeated in heaven, but his influence continues on earth. The battle between good and evil is ongoing, and we're all participants in it. Finally, Lucifer's story points us to the hope of redemption. No matter how great the fall, God's grace is greater. The same God who defeated Satan offers us forgiveness, restoration, and a future free from sin and suffering. The untold story of Lucifer's fall is one of beauty turned to pride, power turned to rebellion, and ambition turned to ruin. But it's also a story of God's sovereignty, His justice, and His unrelenting plan to redeem His creation. What did you find most surprising or thought-provoking about this story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who are curious about the deeper truths of Scripture. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and remember, even in the darkest stories, God's light shines through.